Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Christine Austin Ill Life Now channel. Today, guys, I told you I was going to be coming with some powerhouse agents. Right now, we have Diane Heights with us, and all of you agents out there that are trying to take our agents, she is not going anywhere. So let me just let you know that up front. She is definitely here with us today to share her story, y'all. Share her story and how she managed to deal herself a new deck of cards, so to speak, and to make over $100,000 in 2020 during a crazy pandemic. She's a resident of Ohio, and she is licensed to help the families in Ohio, Indiana, Virginia, and Pennsylvania. So yes, she is hiring in the same states as I am. We are in the Miles group, the same group. She's excited to be working out of the Pittsburgh office, and her past experience with Aflac and Prime America as an agent has served her well. Oh my God. She is born and raised in Ohio. She is married to the love of her life that she did meet while being with this agency. And he is now a part of her family. So I'm going to let her talk about that, talk about the fact that she is a mother, she is a grandmother, she is now a wife, and she is a top female producer within this agency. She is, again, I want to mention, actively hiring. Now that she has paved her way, she understands how the business works. She has made her 6 figures, right? Welcome to the 6-figure club, honey. Welcome, welcome. She is now ready to help other people learn how to do the same thing, learn how to really deal her own deck and live the life that she's dreamed of. And I have a bonus question for you at the end, but we're going to start out real quick. I just want to share with the fam a little bit of where you are. Like, you have 6 figures plus, right? You are going to get this beautiful, beautiful ring that you earned. We give the women the same big ring with the diamonds, the glitter, the gold. That is a white gold ring as we do the men, because the women, we are doing the same thing as the men. Am I right, Diane?
Yeah,
exactly. We have to do the same thing. So just getting started here, I really want you, man, I want you to just talk about that saying. Like, have you ever heard the saying that you have to play the cards that you were dealt with, right? Like, just deal with life. Have you heard of that before growing up?
Yeah. Like, people say you won't amount to more than your status, but I've read a lot of good books that told me otherwise. Thank God.
Right. So it's like, okay, what are you going to say to my life now? Right. So tell us a little bit about yourself. I'm going to shut up. Give us a little bit of a background, right? And how you even ended up in the final expense arena. We did mention that you work with insurance elsewhere, but final expense is a little bit different arena. So go ahead and take the floor. Talk to us.
Thank you. Well, a little bit about myself. I just have always been a very fun person, lover of life, but I've always had big dreams. And I mean, from the get-go, from a child, I actually recall doing nothing more than selling. I mean, I would sell everything. We used to have carnivals in the house, and I would go door to door selling candy. Girl Scouts, of course, maybe that's where I got it from. I don't know. But I always was doing paper routes. And so I guess that's where I got a lot of my work ethic, because that stuff I did when I was younger. A lot of stuff was not handed to me. We had a pretty good family up until when I was 10, and then my parents divorced. And it was kind of a dramatic scenario when my parents divorced. It did kind of spin me into a, I would look back now and say, yes, I was in a depression. And I started reading a lot of Harlequin romance novels when I was about 12, which is the worst thing, which is the worst thing I could do. But that's how I escaped, is through reading. And because, it was a single parent home. My mom was working at night. I would come home to an empty house, had to cook for myself, and, she was doing what she could to keep the lights on, and that's what you do. You try to, you go into survival mode going through that. So, the majority of my years in high school, we were very poor. She didn't even have a car. And so I started thinking that this isn't what I want for me. This isn't what I want for my life. So I did everything I could to work to get money. And so at a very young age, I think I was like 15 and a half when I started working. Yeah, because we didn't have much. And I was in sports. I'm a very athletic, competitive person, which kind of helps me, I think, in sales, especially when you're running against some of the top agents in the whole entire country. I mean, my group, the Miles group, we have the best,
Yes,
best of the best.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. I mean, Rob Williams, #1 in the whole country, you know, and I finished second to him this year. So that's a huge accomplishment.
I love it. I love it.
Huge. Yeah. Yeah. Second to him in the Miles group, but I was #9 in the whole country. And out of those top 10, there was 3 females. So that means a lot to me because as a female, through my life, I had aspired to do certain things. Like I have a very strong faith in the Lord. So when I was younger, I wanted to be, well, actually, most people don't know this. I was thinking about being a nun because when I was younger, I was Catholic. But then when I started reading the Harlequin romance novels, I was like, no, I don't want to be a nun.
Absolutely not at that point. Say no offense to the nuns that may be watching the channel.
Yeah, no offense, but they talked me out of it. But yeah, it is just all good. It's all good. Just aspiring to greatness. Things have just been great this year because what I did this year especially is I didn't play that card or when we talk about cards, I didn't play the hand that was dealt to me.
Yeah.
Right. In March, we were told go home. You're not going out in the field.
Right.
All right. Now my goal this year was to get my ring.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kicking butt January, February, and March. Right. Mm-hmm. And in the middle of March, I'm told to go home, and that's the ring. Yes. And I was like, and actually, Chrissy, it was you. You said, go home, Daddy. I remember that day.
Get on the phone.
Like,
yes.
Yeah. Get on the phones. And thank God, because the phones have been awesome. And so I do both. I mean, you just got to kind of roll with the punches. And I think that's what I learned when I was younger, how to roll with the punches. But there have been moments in my life where I did give up. I'll be honest with you, where I just quit. And I'm just glad that none of my plans to, because I mean, I did go through a huge depression with my parents. I also kind of went through a depression because as I got older, I thought I could find the love that I had lost through that divorce, because I was really a daddy's girl. And I thought I could find that love that I lost through a man, but that didn't work out.
Never does.
It never does.
Been there, done that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I didn't get smarter until I started reading the Bible. In all honesty, I did get into a desperate situation in my life. I became pregnant. And I've always been raised to have children. You get pregnant, they're your responsibility. And that's how my mom raised me. And that's what I did. I just buckled down and I was a single parent. And I took care of him, and I started having a reason to be better. And that was my son, and my first son. And then I met a man, and he was very good to me. So I had another son, and we had every intention on being married. And that was the plan. But what happened was
life.
Well, yeah. I mean,
life.
There was drugs involved, and so we couldn't go that route. And I don't like to talk too much about it because my son is very sensitive to
absolutely
that.
Absolutely. Because that's his story too. It's his story too.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And I think as a whole, we understand, you know what I mean? A lot of individuals, and I'm sure a lot of people that are even watching this can relate and are like, oh my God, I definitely know where she's coming from. But just to even understanding and hearing just a small piece of that past, if you will, that hand, if you will, that had those 2s and 3s and 4s in there, and not the jokers and the aces and the spades, if you will. How did you transition into insurance? Like, where did it come from? Where did that come from?
Well, fortunately, I did have experienced some success in sales. Actually, prior to this, I had worked for Aflac, and I was the number 2 agent as far as new business goes, and I didn't even win a trip to Cabo. So I got a taste of the success. But the problem with Aflac and why I love Final Expense is we have one product. Aflac has 20, maybe more. They started a partnership with Delta Dental and also VSP Vision, and I had to learn all that too. Plus the marketplace was coming on board, and they wanted me to learn all that as well, on top of the 20 other products.
Yeah, it's an amazing company. It's just, it has a lot to offer. Like, and as an agent, you're responsible legally to understand everything about all the different products. So I can understand how, yeah.
And I was a single parent at the time I joined Aflac. I have 5 children. And at the time, and I had been married for quite some time prior, but then I went through a divorce, 22 years though. I'm proud of myself for that. And
that is a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you just, sometimes things happen.
Yeah.
I usually just say he lost his mind.
I know, because look at you. I mean, really?
Yeah. Thank you. But we had 3 teenage girls at the same time. So maybe that was, that's a lot of
it's work. You have to keep the priorities together. Trust me. My husband's constantly reminding me of that. Yeah. Kids can definitely throw a wrench in there.
We've been friends today. We do a lot of that for the kids. And I mean, because that's the thing. The Lord has taught me nobody's perfect. You're not perfect.
Right.
So why expect everybody else to be perfect? I mean, you have to really walk this life out with love and forgiveness. Mostly the Lord has been my rock through all of this. There's been many things that have happened, dramatic things, traumatic things. Yeah, the divorce was terrible, but I think the worst was when I went through a loss of my second son's father, and he was, murdered. And that was devastating. I went through a depression, and I was depressed for many, many years. And, I lost a bunch of stuff, lost friends, but it all drove me to the Lord. And that's where it began, that changing the hand thing of the deck that I was dealt. He told me, he was like, you could change, you could have a different life. I mean, I remember I was going through all this stuff with depression. And I mean, there was even one point in my life where I was on Social Security. Most people don't know that either. And because I was having a hard time, functioning, but the Lord, he got me out of that. And he told me, I want you to go into the nursing field. I was like, I can't do that. And he was like, oh, if I say you can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
So I did. I went into the nursing profession. I was a nurse's aide before I even went to Aflac. So, and the biggest reason why the Lord, I think, got me in that direction is because when my dad was passing away, I was there for my dad. I was there every day, in the morning, taking care of him. And I think that's where the Lord was like, hey, you got a heart for this. You got a heart for people. Go in that direction. And it was great. I'm so glad he told me to do it, because it got me here, because I could not do the nursing profession anymore because I got injured. Okay. And pray for that profession, because they're often understaffed.
Yeah.
And there was a time where I got injured because when we went to lift someone, the other person who was helping me did not bear any of the weight. And she thought she thought he was able more than he was, and he wasn't.
Yeah.
So it fell right on me. And I had to go through therapy and stuff, because it pulled my back out and stuff. So that's how I ended up here, really kind of in the industry, because I was trying to find something that didn't involve more than my brain. That's what I tell people.
Yeah.
You go through a lot of stuff, but as long as you keep going, that's the number one thing I learned through all of this. Don't stop and look at your past. Don't stop and look at, what's going on today in your life that is wrong, especially what's wrong. One of the books, and you mentioned to bring up some books, one of the books that I found out about
through here.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna tell you what this book saved my life this year, and the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And this is why. In the last 2 years, I've been dealing with some relational problems. Some of my kids are not really communicating like I want them to be.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that as far as like the family support. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I do have family support through my husband. He is my rock. I mean, thank you, Jesus, for that man. I see the Lord, he always sends you. As long as you don't look at what you don't have and focus on what you do have, you'll be okay. But the problem with us is oftentimes we're looking at what we don't have.
That's
okay.
Right.
That's where we get into the depression, and that's where we get into feeling sorry for ourselves. That pity party, that's not an invitation anybody wants to go to.
Yeah.
But and I learned to stop sending it out too. Don't send out that invitation. But yeah, this book, this has been very helpful. And the one thing in this book that has helped me more than anything is what you focus on expands. That right there has changed my life. I don't think about what's wrong with my life. I think about what's right with my life. Thank you, Jesus, for that. One little, what you focus on expands.
Mm-hmm.
It is across the board. It's very powerful. So if you focus on what's wrong with your life, if you focus on what you don't have, if you focus on how hard it is to beat Rob Williams.
Yes, that's our top agent in the Miles group. Yes. But you did it.
I did. But I had to focus on that I could. So oftentimes I learned through the Miles group thing. And that's why you're right. I would never leave the Miles group. I would never leave Lincoln Heritage, because I learned about affirmations. I learned about positive thinking. I learned about expecting
vision boards.
Expecting fail.
Yes.
You know, what you expect is what you get. So I did bring that up when we had a talk on you know, the call with the Miles group about expectations and, you know, and to be honest with you, I think back to, you know, when I was younger, I used to watch soap operas. All right. And then I read the Harlequin romance novels. Right. So no wonder my life is jacked.
Your expectation was like all the way up here. That was like not even real. And most young girls went and did the same thing as to why I think we've gone through some problem relationships. Like, well, who are you? You're not like Tom. You're supposed to be doing all these things and rubbing my feet. And no. No. Welcome to the real world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are men out there that would rub your feet.
Mine rubs mine all the time. But I mean, you know how they say in the novels, though, it's a little bit different.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right. And that's the thing about the mind. I used to imagine all these dark scenarios, and I used to, you know, because that's what I focused on. I was watching soap operas, I was reading Harlequin romance novels, and all those movies. You know, it does matter what you watch and what you think upon and what you're reading and such. You know, I read you know, a bunch of magazines. I was always into people and you know, trying to figure out what all those superstars are doing. And then you don't feel good about yourself because you don't look like, you know, so and so.
Right. And sometimes they don't look like that either. A lot of times they don't look like that either. Yeah, that's it. You know, it's one of the things I tell people, my agents all the time, focus on you, your goals, your vision, your dreams, the things that God has put in you that is going to help you to get to that in vision, because he gave you the vision for a reason. You just have to put in the work. You have to put in the work. It's not going to come easy, as you've already said. And I wanted to know, you know, what different changes, but you've touched on it a lot as far as what changes you had to make in order to get to where you are, and really digging deep into your relationship with God, first and foremost, and then stop focusing on other people, you know, and really digging in and seeing that I am amazing. I am beautiful. I am worthy. I am supposed to have all of these things that I envision that just hasn't been in front of me, but they're there. I can see it. I should be able to have these things. And then tapping into God as to what do I need to do in order to get the things that you've already told me that were for me, right? Like the husband that we've had before, but it just didn't work out. Maybe because we didn't ask God for that husband, and maybe because we weren't ready, right? And even those things, you know, like in our agency, in our whole agency, we talk about God first, family second, career third, not career fourth, fifth, sixth, but career third. And in that order. And it sounds like you've been working in that order as to how you got that trophy in the back, that beautiful trophy. You want to bring that close. That's one of the gems that
you have any idea how heavy this is?
Yes, I know it is. I'm sorry. I'm like, bring it closer. But this is in November, guys. I want you to see 38,000 in production in November 2020. November is also a month that I've been here 9 years. I've heard people and agents talk about all the time that nobody's buying in November. You know, there's a holiday in November. It's right before Christmas. It's right after Halloween, and all these things that agents bring the excuses as to why they cannot do or work or perform in November. 38,000. Well, this is your second year in the business, right?
Yeah, this is my second year. And I mean, this is what I've learned. You can do whatever you set your mind out to do. You know, I love the scripture that says, write the vision, make it plain. So I would write, and, you know, I have this book here. I would write in it every day. My daughter got me this prayer pad. I thought it was cute. But at the top, you see, I am so happy and grateful now that I am.
Yes. ...
Well, I would write in it every day 3 times, different things that I was going for. Yeah. So I wrote, I am so happy and grateful now that I am a ring earner and I'm on the boat with my team, the Miles Group, and we're celebrating my accomplishments. And I also have won the trophy. So throughout the year, I would write this down because, you know, you have to have goals and you have to have like a plan. You know, and I did have a plan. You know, we have everything systematized in our group. We have 20-point sheets that we mark daily. I coined the phrase, what you track, you attack.
Yes.
You know,
I like that. What you track, you attack. Yes.
Yes. What you track, you attack. And that's because it focuses you. Because remember, what you focus on expands.
Yeah.
So I learned that here. A lot of other things that I've been dipping into is Blessed and Unstoppable by Billy Alsbrooks. That was such a miracle how that came about. You know, George McGlone, he brought that book into our group. And, you know, I started getting turned on to his, he's on Apple Music. He's also has a YouTube channel.
Huge YouTube.
And I started listening. What's that?
I'm sorry, I said a huge YouTube channel. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I started listening to him, and he had something I needed, which is the grind. See, I have skills to talk to people. I have skills to explain the product. I love the product. I love the people. I have everything, but I didn't have the grind, which you got to have the grind, which means you have to work hard. And, you know, oftentimes in America, we don't work that hard. We like the easy button. And so what I would listen to on his, you know, I think they're called, I'm not really sure if they're called clips or songs, podcasts. I'm not sure what he calls them, but it is set to music. And he would just talk to you about working hard. And I would listen to Blood, Sweat, and Tears every day.
Yeah.
You know, it's the only credit card accepted here. Welcome to the grind. I listen to that every day because I realized that if I was going to beat Rob Williams, if I was going to be in the top 10, if I was going to win the money, because I mean, that money thing was huge. You know, we got that huge deposit. You know, we were all supposed to go to Spain, but because of COVID, they were like, well, that's okay. We'll give you cash. And I'm like,
how about that?
Cash.
Like, how about that? How amazing is that? They give you the cash for the trip and they give you your bonus cash, right? Yeah, and you're still going to get all of your trophies and things in the mail. It always takes a little bit longer for that to come to you, but you're still going to get all of the things. Instead of, like, I think a lot of companies would say, oh, we're going to just postpone it out, right? Delaying, having to pay you. They were like, no, we're going to pay you. And I cannot wait to see what the next contest is going to be. The next one is going to be. It's just amazing. It's amazing. Most times whenever I'm
It was
recruiting.
it was more than amazing. It was actually life changing.
Yeah.
Because they gave me so much money that I paid off every single one of my credit cards and all my loans. And I was like debt free as far as that goes. I still
Yeah.
have the car, the house, and I have one loan left, but debt free.
How amazing.
Shot up my credit score higher than I ever been in my life. I was just
that's
like,
amazing.
wow.
That's amazing. But you know what? I want to tie you back to the book, The Millionaire's Mind, because had you not been tapped into that book, you might not have put that money to where it needed to go. That would have your credit where it needs to be, right? Your finances. So now you have more money each month because you're not spending money on these debts. Because that is definitely something that I know we talk about, is what to do with the money that you are making, right? What you're making. And oh my word.
Right. And you know what? You did have a planner I did purchase too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're still doing that.
That
planner had stuff
website
in there about that.
Yeah, that planner is just
and I did that.
Yeah, you did a lot of things.
Because again, whatever you track, whatever you track, you attack. So I did get your planner. I started writing all that stuff out. It just, when you're writing it all out, it just focuses you. But the best thing I did, what's that?
You're seeing it. It's in front of you.
Yes. In front of you. Yes. And where there's vision, there's destiny, right? So for me, the writing it out makes me see it. And I guess that's the way I'm wired. But yeah. So like when I'm running for things, me and my manager, Paul, we get together and we try to come up with a plan.
Yeah.
And he'll tell me exactly what I do to get there. And I just pretty much follow whatever he says, because the guy is proven. I mean, in less than a year, my team, which is called the Hustlers, we've done more than most teams do. Right. I mean, we're doing great. And that camaraderie too, that's another thing. I associated myself with great people like yourself and your husband, Raheem. I have changed because of you guys listening to the calls. Your friendship is very valued. The biggest thing I think I learned was to be a listener. I could talk, all day long, but the biggest thing I learned is to be a listener. And when you listen to people, they like you, they trust you. And that's been key for me to be successful here, because people are not going to buy from you if they don't like you. So I learned how to be likable by listening.
Yeah. But even when you listen, you're really showing that you care. If you listen, if you take the time to listen to someone, you are extending your heart to them, showing that you care. Because when you listen, you're hearing different things. You're able to respond according to what they're talking about. That shows relationship building, which is what being an agent really is about. That's why we have to have the relationship with God, the relationship with our family, and then the relationship with our business. This all relational stuff here. And if you don't love people, you can't connect, you will not be successful. And I remember in the beginning, and we're going to wrap this up shortly, but I remember in the beginning, you were like selling and you were like, I don't understand, because you were like hard selling, if I'm saying it right. And you ended up having to understand, okay, I'm talking more than I'm listening, and I need to just relax and just let them know, because I do care, because you always cared. But it was like, how are you telling me no? Like, you need this. Get it. Yeah. And then, the soft part is, okay, help me understand what the issue is so that I can feel this need, because I know you need it. It's a different way of saying the same thing. And look at you, you hit your 6 figures during a pandemic. We have to be problem solvers. Yes. At all times, because we don't know all of the things that have gone on in your 2020, but I'm sure it wasn't a smooth sailing year, right? But the reason we don't know is because You dealt with your manager, you're connecting your accountability partners. Like, this is what's going on. And these individuals, and correct me if I'm wrong, but these are the individuals that will help you to deal with what's going on, get you back on track to say, okay, there's nothing really we can do about that right now. So let's go help the people. Might make the money, that a lot of times the issues are financial. And it's like, dang it, this allows you that opportunity to go help other people. And then it helps yourself. That's why I love Billy All's books that says blessed and unstoppable. For years, I always put that I'm blessed to be a blessing. So when I'm a blessing, yeah, to other people, I'm blessed, right? So when I seen his book, I'm like, I'm on to something, because he is freaking awesome, right? So just keep that in mind. Just keeping that in mind. And that was amazing, you know, that you were able to go to his event during a pandemic, brought him onto the whole team's meeting so that we were able to experience him for free, and then set it up for us to be able to have a discounted event in November, which some of us were not able to make due to different circumstances, but our tickets that we paid for are open for whenever we want to use them. So that is like freaking amazing. So you've done a lot in this short period of time of being here. You didn't only take from the team, take from the group, but you've been giving. You always are helping. You're always speaking up. You're sharing your experiences, and that allows other people that are new and even older agents that need to hear it from a different voice. You're pulling people up. That's what we're all about here, is pulling people up to us. You know, we're not just trying to beat everybody down, but this is how we've grown. This is, I believe, how the Miles Group, the Peace of Mind Group, the Paul Group, the Life Now Agency Group, which is mine, and all of these other agencies that we have, we've all built up together because we work together. How awesome is that?
Amen. Well, the culture here is fantastic. I mean, this has changed my life. My husband and I have cried over this with tears, how wonderful it is to be around such great people. My husband has been very, very supportive, and I wouldn't be really where I'm at today really without him, because there was many days where people told me no, and I had to go into myself and figure out why. And oftentimes it's because I talk too much. So I did learn to try to be better. But even if they said no and I did nothing wrong, I still had to learn how to keep going. Yeah. And so here at the Miles Group, you learn how to keep going. You learn that, you know, the next door, the next day could be the answer. And I always told myself, Diana, as long as you're helping people, you don't have no problems, because you forget your problems when you're helping people. So that's the thing I changed. Instead of having a sales approach, I went into homes trying to help them. There's been homes that I just couldn't help, you know, because they had everything. And then I just made a friend, you know. That's the mindset here that we teach. And I think that's why we're so successful. We teach how to care about people and love on people. And I feel good about what I do. I think the product is fantastic. I actually have had the opposite, where one of my family members had no insurance. And when he passed, his kids had to do a GoFundMe, and they had to ask everybody in the family to chip in. So I see the need. I see why people need it, because we're the only company paying in 24 hours to solve that problem. So it's a great product, great company. The company, I'll tell you what, when they gave me all that money to pay off all of my credit cards, and they also sent me a bunch of gift cards throughout the time that we were, you know, dealing with, and they've given me appreciation certificates. Yeah. But then the shout outs you get daily on our group me, and just the praise I get from my manager, Paul, and all the people that I work with. That's the biggest reason why I'll never leave. Yeah. You know, never, because of all you. And honestly, you've changed my life. Yeah. There's been, like I said, some depressing things that have happened in my life. I mean, I even have now some things that could, you know, tear me up as a person. There's some people that don't like me. Well, praise the Lord. God bless you.
Right. You know, listen, that is none of your business. What people are saying, what they think, how they feel, it is none of your business. You let the Lord handle that.
Amen to that.
It's none of your
business.
He
did teach me just to let him handle this kind of stuff that goes wrong. you know, I've never had, during the 2 years that I've been here, a full blown, you know, positive experience, because I got in trouble once with persistency, and that was my fault because I wasn't handling my business.
Yeah.
But I'm just glad that I was given the opportunity to dig myself out of that hole.
Yeah.
But, you know, like I said, I had to learn the work ethic. And that's the only reason why I got in the hole in the first place, because I wasn't doing the job.
Yeah.
Hey, we're kind of lazy in America. What can I say?
Right.
But
right.
You know, I'm changing. And it has blessed us. Since I started with the company, and I do want to touch on this because it's been huge. Since I started with the company, yes, I met my husband right when I was starting, and we got married during the 2 years I've been here. So in the last 2 years, I've gotten married, I purchased a house, we got 2 brand new cars, and now we have a travel trailer.
I know. I'm so jealous. We've been talking about it. I was like, she bought it? Oh my God. That is amazing. We're still waiting for the pictures. Well, I didn't see the pictures.
Oh, okay. I could send that to you, but yeah, it's just exciting times, because I know we got to start expanding in Indiana, because that's where the opportunity is. Yeah. And when you're a business owner, you're going to be willing to make those sacrifices and go where the opportunity is.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
ma'am. I mean,
yes, ma'am.
Why wouldn't
the blessing is you're able to.
They tell you to pay. What's that?
The blessing is that you're able to. You're able to.
Yeah. Well, that credit score, sure enough, did help me get that travel trailer. So thank you for all that great advice. But yeah, and so that's our next venture, is we're going to be in Huntington, Indiana. We'll be there to not only help people with getting policies, but we're also going to be looking to recruit in that area. It's over there by Fort Wayne. It's like 30 minutes from Fort Wayne.
Absolutely.
So that'll be our second home.
That's awesome.
And I'm just like, God, you know, it's amazing. Because if you know where I came from, I mean, my mom didn't even have a car my whole high school. I had to walk everywhere. You know, we had the government cheese, you know.
Well, you know, that government cheese was pretty good, though. That government cheese was really good. Listen, sometimes I'm trying to find some of that cheese for these grilled cheese. Hey.
Right. It made a mean grilled cheese.
It made a mean
But yeah, cheese. I was single parenting myself. Yeah. And then I come out of that. I got married. You know, I had 3 daughters after that. And, you know, things were fine for a while, but I never had my own thing. It was just me being a parent. So when I come into this business, the biggest reason is because I had no 401k. I had no retirement plan with any company, because all I did was raise kids. So I saw the residuals on this, and because mine are at almost $5,000 a month right now. Every
beautiful.
Month no matter what I do. Every month I get $5,000. That's more than I ever made.
So wait a minute. Let's talk about this just real quick. Residuals, for individuals that do not know what a residual income is, that is when, after you have helped the client and they continue to make a payment, you continue to get a small percentage. The company gives us a love check. I like to call it a love check. All right. And that builds your monthly pay. So some people are thinking they don't want to go into insurance because it's commission only. But with our industry, with our not industry, because I'm going to say with our company, I can't speak for all of these other companies because I've heard of different things. But
ours is the best.
Yeah, ours is the best type situation.
Well, we're fully vested. We're fully vested from the beginning, and other companies make you wait 2 years. So yeah, this is amazing.
Ours is 2 years. Ours is 2 years.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Well, the residuals you don't get with the other companies.
Right. The residuals, it takes them a whole year before they even get anything, if they make it a year.
Yeah.
So that's the big difference there.
Okay.
Right. They tell them that they're vested. Yeah. They say they're vested day one, but they're not getting residuals. That, you know, they don't have that set up the way that ours is set up, so that we can immediately start getting paid. Yeah. It's a different play on words, but when you get to the nitty gritty, as far as the end of the day numbers, ours, it beats it. Yeah. But she's coming into this year with 60,000 on the ground. 60,000. That's her pay through the love check from all of the business that she has helped people with through these last 2 years. Guys, don't miss it. 2 years. She's at 60,000. So she decided she didn't want to go to work. That is going to be what the company is going to pay her every single month. until the last person cancels or dies. Don't miss that. This is building wealth for the future. It's building wealth for your children. And the one thing I will mention is in the event, God forbid, that she were to pass on, her beneficiary will receive her overrights until the last person cancels or dies. And they do not have to work for the company. The company will give them 6 months to get a license if they do not already have one, but they will continue to get paid. Man, this is an amazing opportunity. This was an amazing interview. Thank you so much for your time, because I know you are super busy. And you touched on my last bonus question was, what are you looking forward to in 2021? You touched on it a little bit, but I want you to go ahead and end out this interview with, what are you looking forward to in 2021?
Well, 2021 is going to be a great year because I'm looking to help someone do what I do. And we did start a group called Greater Heights Group, and we're on Facebook if you want to go and like the page. But yeah, it's a play on words because my last name is Heights, so Greater Heights Group.
Yeah,
I thought it was cute.
Yeah,
my husband, I think he came up with it. So yeah, we're just looking to build. We're looking to train people to do what I do, to have that same result. I mean, we don't believe in reinventing the wheel here. We believe in duplication. You know, if something works, you know, do it.
Do it.
So I'm just here. I'm just here to teach someone else to do what I do, and to help them, you know, lift their status. I mean, right now, with a lot of people struggling to make ends meet, you know, what do you got to lose? I mean, that's always been my, you know, in my head, you know, when somebody tells me to do something and it requires an investment of time or money, I'm like, what do you got to lose? I mean, you only live once, and what's the worst that could happen? You know, obviously, this investment for me has panned out. It would pan out for anybody else who applied the same principles. You just got to believe.
That's it. You just have to believe. Oh,
you just got to believe.
Amazing. Amazing. And I'm going to end with, behind every success is effort. Behind every effort is passion. And behind every passion is someone with the courage to try. Thank you again, Diane, for joining us on today. Guys, if you want to connect with Miss Diane, her information will be down below in the description box, as well as my information is always there as well. But her info will be down there, and her saying that I picked up today, what you track, you attack. And with that, we're out.
Bye.